Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Is Tai Chi Taoist? Is Tai Chi a Taoist art? People argue sometimes about this. They mostly argue the history of it. For me, I don't care what the history of it was. I don't care what it was originally for, or whether it was originally a Taoist art. Painting started in caves, so it doesn't mean that if you paint something that's not in a cave, it's not painting. Arts change, arts evolve, people can use them for different purposes. So I don't really care whether historically Tai Chi was a Taoist art or was created by people who identified themselves as Taoist. For me, Taoism involves unforced balance and living an unforced life and looking for unforced ways to be. Ways that you don't have to will yourself into being, ways that come naturally. That to me is the heart of Taoism. Flow more, force less. Seek the unforced or the most natural way to be. Not always the easiest way to be, but the unforced way to be. So I call what I do sort of freestyle Taoism, because I don't subscribe to the religion of Taoism necessarily. There's 10,000 books and 80,000 commentaries, and it can be just as convoluted and complicated and ritualistic and dogmatic as any other religion. I think of religions in general, there are people that are interested in the whole system and the whole elaborate ritual, the whole religious package that comes with that particular religion, and then there are people that just want to experience it for themselves and pick a few key principles and try to live them, actually live them. That's to me what the freestyle is. So if I was a freestyle Christian, I might take a principle like love thy neighbor as thyself and just live that. Try to be with each person as though they're my neighbor and to love them as I would love myself. That would be a tall order, wouldn't it? So with Taoism, being a freestyle Taoist, that means that I take a few core principles, like the unforced life and unforced actions, Wu Wei, unforced action, or flow more, force less. They all pretty much boil down to use less force. And then I apply that everywhere I can. So my Tai Chi practice is a practice of finding that unforced balance, finding ways to move that are the most relaxed and comfortable and natural to me as possible. And I'm interested in submitting that to pressure, because the more pressure you put on a system, the weaknesses show up, and the more pressure we put on our systems, the more they fail. So if you have a small business with a communication problem, it might not show up in everyday business. They don't communicate well, but they get the job done. But suddenly they get an order for 1 million products, and they can't fill that order. Why? Because their communication breaks down. So when you apply pressure, the weak points emerge. If you don't apply much pressure, time will apply pressure for you. You'll get old. That's one form of pressure. But you can take on weight, you can take on different opponents, you can do the positions or the forms within the system with more or less pressure on you. You can hold positions longer. You can perform the form under different adverse conditions. There's all kinds of things you can do to pressure test the various aspects of your system. But what makes it Taoist to me is that I'm studying unforced balance no matter what I'm doing. That's my overarching Tai Chi practice, not Tai Chi Chuan, but Tai Chi or Taoist practice, is to find that unforced balance, that forceless natural way of moving. So for me, yeah, sure, Tai Chi is a Taoist practice. Also dancing is a Taoist practice. Also bike riding is a Taoist practice, as is my marriage, as is singing and songwriting and performing and being a good friend and making a living and balancing my checkbook and paying my bills on time and staying healthy and keeping a good diet, all these kind of things. They're all Taoist practices for me because they are consecrated towards the higher principle of unforced balance and living an unforced life. That's really what makes something Taoist, not where it came from, not what Master said about something 50,000 years ago. Is it consecrated to that core principle of that way of being, which I think it is. So for me, yes. That's the short answer. Is Tai Chi a Taoist practice? For me, yes it is. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of thing, or visit GeneBurnett.com.